Something I want to remind you of, and that is if you have an idea, an impulse, a compulsion to do something, it means you are the right person for it. You mightn't feel like you're the right person. It might be something you've never done before. You are probably dismissing it out of hand, but because you've been given it, it means you are the right person to do it. How do I know? I was in that same situation as well. You know, before I wrote my first fiction book, for months before I wrote that book, I just had this mad compulsion that I wanted to write a book. Now, I'd never written fiction before. No one in my family had ever written. I didn't know any authors, online or offline, that I could speak to. But I just had this mad idea that I just wanted to write a fiction book. And I got to the point where I actually hired a ghostwriter to write my fiction book because I didn't believe I could do it. And what happened was my ghostwriter disappeared. My ghostwriter ghosted me, and I was left with no one to write the book. And then, thankfully, my wife pushed me and got me to start writing, and I wrote that book. And I wrote a couple of books. I actually, wrote more than a couple of books. I wrote a lot of books. And I never seen myself as a fiction writer. But I, for some reason, had this mad compulsion that I wanted to write fiction. And I didn't realize it at the time that the reason I was given this compulsion to write those books was because I could write those books. I could write fiction. That inside me, even though I didn't know it was there, I could write fiction. And it's the same for you as well too. The reason you are given this compulsion, this impulse to do something right now, is because you can do it. Because if you couldn't do it, you'd never have that impulse to do it. That idea would never be flashing up on your mind. You know, for example, if you never got the compulsion to play the guitar, you know for a fact that you wouldn't, buy a guitar. You wouldn't hire a coach, study to play the guitar because it's just not in you. If you maybe don't see yourself or don't have the compulsion to backpack all around the world, you'd never do it. If you don't see yourself as someone who would throw themselves out the back of a plane and parachute down to the ground, you'd never do it. So the fact that you have a compulsion or an idea to do something right now means that you are the person that can take action on it or that can give birth to that idea. No one else probably has the same idea or impulse to do the thing that you would like to do because we're all different. We've all got our own, things that are in our wheelhouse. So if you're given an idea right now that you might be dismissing out of hand, that it's just something that's beyond you, it might feel like it right now, but there is a part of you that can actually achieve that thing. It might take a couple of months, it might take a couple of years until you're good enough to actually do it. But the fact that is, life is tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, this is what you should be doing. Listen to it because you are given that because you are the only person that can bring it about. So don't dismiss that idea thinking that you're not good enough or that, everybody else can do it. There is a reason life is giving you this compulsion, this idea to do something because you're the only one that can do it. So please do it and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.